Good morning. My name is Candace Prince. I'm with Green Hope Project. We have Lily Adriano here with us today from the Environmental Services Department. She's going to talk to you about what you can and cannot put in your blue bin. And so on that note, I am going to turn it over to Lily, and thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here teaching everyone, like Ms. Prince said, what to recycle, what not to recycle, and most importantly, how to recycle in El Paso. So I'm going to go ahead and begin by sharing my screen. And the first small clip is reminding our residents about bin distancing. Extremely important because a lot of our residents are calling us every single day, my bin got skipped and my bin was skipped. So then our collection drivers do have a system where they can take a picture and then it's sent to your account. And when you call us in, we access your account and we're able to see that picture. So when your bins are too close, they are not going to be able to collect, whether it's the blue or the gray. If they're too close to each other, if they're too close to any other object, they're not going to collect. The reason why is because if it's too close to the other bin, at the time of extending that arm, it's going to knock over the other bin. So that's one of the reasons why. And then another reason why they don't collect when it's too close to an object for reasons of not damaging private property. So this is the reason why this video was created. It's an awesome video. It's very short. The following video after this will be a video from ESD and how we all collaborate together, different departments coming together to bring our customers the best service possible. So I'm going to play those two videos back to back, and then I'll go ahead and begin the presentation.
Meet Angel Mata. He's one of the many employees at the City of El Paso's Environmental Services Department who are elevating the customer experience by providing exceptional customer service to our residents. His position was in addition to the customer service team to provide a dedicated service alignment directly and positively affecting our customers. For our customers to reap the benefits of this service alignment, a cross-functional team with customer service, outreach, and business systems works in synchrony to reach service goals daily. Each day he, along with the outreach team and the state-of-the-art routeware system, help customers with their special collection needs. Customers who produce more household trash or recyclables than their bins can hold can contact ESD to request an unscheduled pickup. ESD provides the service for a $15 fee. Mr. Mata is a driver who is tasked with picking up these extra bins, a service he has been providing for the past 2 years. If while out in the field he identifies unauthorized items in the blue recycle bins, he provides information to the outreach team. The outreach team closes the loop by contacting the customer and educating them about ESD's Know What You Throw recycling program. As a result, customers have been signing up to ESD's virtual recycle class weekly. By rolling out each day to meet customers' extra waste needs, particularly during this pandemic period when customers are producing more household waste, Mr. Mata is doing his part to elevate the customer experience. Thank you, Mr. Mata, for your services.
So very well, that's the first one, like I mentioned, the bin distancing, how important that is. And the next one is just how different departments come together to bring you, our residents, our customers, the best customer service possible. And so beginning with our Do You Know What to Throw campaign. Every year we change our campaign. This one is Do You Know What to Throw? And extremely important, Ms. Prince and I were speaking about recycling and a lot of things of recycling that have to do with it. And I was sharing with her that El Paso has a contamination rate of 32%. She also shared with me that, she sees food in blue bins. And unfortunately, this is very true. We see food. I've seen baby diapers in blue bins. I've seen take-home containers filled with food, liquid. And if this food it's already past the time. It smells horrible. I mean, there's black fungus on it, and it's just amazing what we see in our blue bins. So the reason why this recycle class was mandatory for our customers before obtaining a blue bin was for particularly this reason, because El Paso is not recycling correctly. And beginning with some of the questions that our community asks us is the first one right here is, does the city charge for recycling service? There is no charge for recycling. This is completely voluntary. What is a recycling class? So we have recycling classes every Wednesday, and we have them twice a day, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And these classes are given, like I mentioned, it's a mandatory class that you have to take before getting a blue bin. And eventually the city will make it mandatory for all of El Paso if our contamination rate does not lower. And as a matter of fact, I shared with Ms. Prince also that Las Cruces has a 7% contamination rate. So what is recycled in the blue bin? We will go ahead and share that further on in the presentation. The city does not accept plastic bags in blue bins anymore, and I will let you know why. Are bagged recyclables allowed? Bagged recyclables are not allowed. Everything in your blue bin has to be loose. Austin accepts glass. Why doesn't the city of El Paso? And how can you do more? So all of this is coming further in the presentation. This is an agenda that we will be going by today. First of all, an introduction to the Environmental Services Department, important recycling dates, a recycling path, do you know what to throw, understanding the plastic chart, recycling photo album of actual customers' bins, and recycling know-hows. So environmental services is not only made up of the collections division, which pick up your blue and gray bins, but it's also made up of, first of all, air quality. This team monitors the air every single day. They monitor it Christmas Day, New Year's Day, their birthdays, any holiday, Sundays. They monitor the air every day. They're out there monitoring the air, making sure we're breathing good, high quality air. Clean El Paso division. They do maintain the city clean as possible that we can. We do receive reports every single day, and they go out there and take care of these reports that we get. Our very famous one, collections division. They pick up your blue bins and gray bins. The landfill division, we do have a small clip to show you just in case you've never been to the landfill. And that way you get an idea of what the landfill looks like. And the outreach division, which would be myself and my coworkers in outreach. So we go out into the community and relay important information for the department. A recycling path. So we think that a recyclable material, we pick it up at the store, we are done with it, we toss it in the blue, and that's done, right? It's in our hands, that's it. It ends there. But the recycling material still has a long way to go. So it travels, and it travels quite a bit. It begins at the manufacturer, travels to number 2, makes it to the store, and you're at your local store. Let's say that you pick up a water bottle. So you pick up a water bottle, you take it home, you drink the water, you're done with the bottle. You toss it in your blue bin, and it's there sitting for your blue collection day. So everything, absolutely everything you put in your blue bin is sitting there until our collection trucks come by and collect it. They take it to number 6. This is a very important facility. This facility is a materials recovery facility. So this facility is separated from the city. There's no connection between the city, residents, ESD. The only connection that we have is that they collect our recyclable materials, they sort them, and they process them. But our goal is to keep it from our landfill. So at this facility is where we get graded on our contamination rate. They are the ones who sort all the material that they receive on a daily basis. If they see a pizza box that's dirty, they're going to set it aside. If they see a big bag full of material, they're going to set it aside. And guess what happens to that material? They weigh it, and this is how we're graded on our contamination rate, because everything that is not accepted, everything that is dirty, everything that's not recyclable material, let's say it's a water bottle with liquid, they're not going to accept it. It's a water bottle, but they're not going to accept it. So all that is weighted at the end of the day, and that's how we get graded as a city for contamination rate. So all that material that's not accepted will make it to the landfill, and that's where we don't want it. But all the material that is accepted will go to the global market. And what happens there? It's repurposed. It's given another life. So at the global market, they take care of it, and then at the landfill, it just sits there. It's sitting in our earth ground. So very important that we only send in good, recyclable, clean, and loose material. Even if you send a bag, if you're a family, a big family, you drink, you use a lot of water bottles, and then all those water bottles, you bag them in a bag, and you toss them in your blue bin in a bag. And once it gets processed through this facility, they see a bag full of materials. It's not going to make it to the global market. It's going to go to the landfill because it's a bag full of material. Even if you sent in 100% clean water bottles, empty water bottles. So that's the sad part about it, that a lot of our residents don't know that material in blue bins has to be loose. It cannot be bagged. So these two clips, the very first one is at our El Paso City landfill. The next one is going to be where the materials recovery facility. This is where everything you put in your blue bin, this is where it's transported. I'll go ahead and play the first one, talk to you a little bit about it, and then the second one.
Jesus Marquez, and I'm a heavy equipment operator at the landfill. We do different things. We drive different kind of equipment. We use a compactor, dozer to cover, or we use a scraper and water wagons. We got all kinds of different machines, and what we do is push and cover and compact. It's part of to keep control of trash, and plus it's all city residential and automation coming through the trash here. So we want to make sure it's well covered. This is very important to us to make sure we're all in the same pace, so we could be accident free. Not only that, always be careful and watch for each other, because there is a lot of traffic sometimes here, and we have to take care of each other. If we would just imagine there wasn't a landfill, there would be scattered trash all over. So it's very important people to know that we do work hard, and we try our best to have our trash, that when they bring the trash here and have it covered. But I love my job. I love what I do.
So that's Mr. Marquez. That's our city landfill. And they are located in Clint, Texas. They're open from Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 4 p.m. And every time Mr. Marquez asks this question in the video, what if we didn't have a landfill? I don't think, even myself, I don't think I ever thought of that until I heard him ask it. But where would all our trash go to? Where would we take it to? Where would we dispose of it? We definitely don't want to live in a city that's full of trash. We don't want to bury our trash in our own backyards, because we want beautiful, relaxing backyards front yards. So just imagine if there wasn't a landfill, if there wasn't these men working hard daily. They are supposed to leave at 4 p.m., but if that trash, all that solid waste they receive every single day is not covered, they don't go home. They have to bury it, and it's a layer after layer after layer. I've been to the landfill on a numerous of occasions, and every time I go, I always learn something new. These men work so hard during the heat, during the cold. They're out there, they're burying our trash. They dig down 50 feet, they dig down 80 feet, they go up 50 feet. So if you pass through the outside, well, maybe through the highway, if you pass through the highway, you will see big mountains where the city landfill sits at. Those mountains are full of solid waste underground, all the way 80 feet down. And they have to cover it. The ending layer is just rock. It's all rock. They have to maintain it. They cannot they don't allow weeds grow out of it. They have to maintain it, take care of it. We've been at this landfill for over 20 years. So there's trash from all of us from 20 years ago. It's just sitting there. And we have about 8 more years to work at this landfill. Our engineers are already figuring out if we're going to expand in the same ground or if we're gonna move it. And after they close the landfill, 30 years after, ESD has to take care of it and maintain it. So it's not like they close the landfill and they forget about it. No, for 30 years, ESD has to continue the maintenance of the landfill. So we have about 8 years. We want to expand it to 10 more years. And by doing so, El Paso needs to recycle correctly, learn how to recycle correctly in El Paso. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the next video. It's a small clip. It's where everything you put in your blue bin, this is where it's headed. Please take a close look at the conveyor belts. And this is the reason why bagged recyclables are not allowed, because the conveyor belts are passing by so fast that they don't have the time to open the bag, sort through the material, and continue on. I'll go ahead and play it and talk to you a little bit about it after.
Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a drug to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want the good life every good night, you're a high one to hold. 'Cause you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap. Somebody save your soul, 'cause you've been sinning in the city. I know I'm like a stranger, give me danger, all you're wrong and you're right. Secrets on my way to the freeway, you're a keeper of crime. Still no conviction, grips of life can only sweeten your wine. But you don't even know, I can make your hands clap. Said I can make your hands clap.
Very well, so that's the materials recovery facility. This is where everything we put in our blue bins, this is where it's headed, this is where it's sorted, this is where it's compressed to that big bale you saw at the ending of the video. It's all compressed into a big bale. So at this facility, when I visited, this is where I saw the baby diapers. This is where I saw the food containers. It's where I saw aerosol cans. It's just unbelievable material that we see. I saw covers, towels, comforters, a lot of styrofoam, a lot of bags. So like I mentioned before, another reason why this recycle class was created, mandatory for our customers who want a blue bin. So now moving on to the material that's accepted and not accepted. First of all, the cardboard, we ask if you could please flatten it. That's to make sure that nothing is included inside the box, like packaging material. Paper, mixed paper, newspaper, magazines. Some of the magazines come wrapped in plastic film. So please just remove the plastic film and you can go ahead and recycle the magazine. Cans, aluminum cans, steel cans, if you could rinse them and then toss it in the blue bin. As far as the steel cans, the vegetable cans, you can go ahead and make sure that There's no vegetables left inside of it. I know that sometimes I try to recycle tuna cans, but it does get a little bit tough because it's kind of oily. So if it gets a little hard for you, don't worry about it, just toss it in your gray bin. Plastics, extremely important. Plastics, plastic bottles, plastic jugs, plastic detergent jugs, milk, fruit, just make sure that it's only number 1 and number 2. This facility, the recyclable facility, only accepts and only process recyclables marked with a 1 or a 2. Please remember that when it comes to plastics, no plastic film, no plastic wrapping. So that plastic wrapping around the water bottles, that's not accepted. Plastic bags, not accepted at all. Unacceptable materials, bagged recyclables. I think I've mentioned it several times already. We do not accept bagged recyclables in blue bins. Textiles, I've seen a lot of textiles, clothing, shoes in blue bins. This is not recyclable. Yard waste, some of our customers do bag their yard waste and place it in blue bins. Pizza boxes, a very, very extremely famous item in blue bins. Pizza boxes are not accepted. Remember, recyclable material has to be clean. No food residue, no grease. Food and liquid. Food and liquid is not acceptable, and we see it in blue bins all the time. Glass, El Paso does not recycle glass, and you'll find out later why we don't process the glass. Plastic bags, no more plastic bags. We do know that China doesn't want the plastic bags, so we're not collecting plastic bags in blue bins anymore. Styrofoam is a big one in blue bins. We believe that it's recyclable, but styrofoam is actually not recyclable. And tanglers, we see hoses, wires, chains, electronics, chargers, we see chargers. And all these items are not recyclable. So why flatten or cut your cardboard? Remember, it saves space in your bin. It keeps your lids closed, ensures packaging material is removed. And then moving on to the citizen collection stations. So these stations are available to our citizens. You can visit any station you like. All you have to take is your water bill and your ID. And the address on both documents have to match so that they allow you to go in. The Pendle location has a glass crushing machine. So if you need some glass crushed, they'll go ahead and crush it for you. They will let you know that some of the glass material is either too thick or too big for the machine, and they won't allow crushing because it might break the machine. But all these locations are open Tuesday through Saturday. They're closed Monday and Sunday. Please remember they're closed Monday and Sunday. All of them are operating normal business hours. Oh, and we have some unacceptable material. You can find this list on our website, but most of the items you can go ahead and take to the collection stations. And these are recycling photo album. And these are actual photos of actual customers. All of these bins are out of compliance. We do have code enforcement officers who walk the neighborhoods, and what they do, they check blue bins. And what they're checking for is for unacceptable material. This is part of an outreach initiation that we do have to educate the community, to let them know, you know, this doesn't belong in blue bins. Please stop putting this in blue bins. So if they find something that doesn't belong in the bin, they will tag it. I don't know if they're talking to customers right now because of the pandemic, but before pandemic, they were knocking on doors, talking to the customer, just giving them some information of what goes in blue, what doesn't go in the blue bins, and what can happen if the material is not removed from the blue bin. So this one right here has the very famous pizza box, the bubble wrapping paper, and we see a towel down there in the corner. This next one has glass, a bottle glass made out of glass, this plastic bag, and this plastic strip in the back. And then this one here has styrofoam. There's a jug right there with liquid inside of it. We see a lot of that. And of course, this mixed paper, magazines, that's accepted. This one here, it was used as a second grade bin. So a lot of our customers do attempt to use the blue bin as a second grade bin. to avoid the monthly fee. So if our collection drivers notice that you are using the blue bin as a second gray bin, they will report it and we will bring it to your attention. And this one here, the very famous pizza box, this egg carton made out of styrofoam. Styrofoam is not accepted in blue bins, but everything else, look at all that clean plastic material. This one has some yard waste, some wax paper here in the back, and some napkins. So those bins are out of compliance. Shredded paper is another big one in blue bins. Right now, most of us are still working from home and we're shredding paper. One of our customers was shredding her paper and placing it in bags and then into the blue. So our collection driver did bring it to our attention and we did speak to the customer. But even if it's loose inside your blue bin, shredded paper is not allowed. It's too small to recycle. Once that bin is turned over, the shredded paper just flies away everywhere. And we just like to show this bin from one of our customers with all those flattened boxes. So if your bin has ever been tagged, and what can happen if your bin's tagged? Once your bin is tagged, and you notice it, we do require you to remove that material from your blue and place it in your gray. If your bin keeps getting tagged or we keep noticing that you're not removing the material, your bin might get removed from your residence. If the bin is removed from your residence, there is a mandatory 6-month waiting period before you can request another blue bin. A lot of our customers do get upset and they just say, okay, I don't want to recycle anymore. But then they come back saying, I want my blue again because I don't want to pay for a second gray bin. All that recyclable material is going to the gray, so their gray is getting filled up faster. And so they find out that they need a second gray. In order to avoid the fee of $19 per month, they ask for their blue, but they can't have their blue until after 6 months, until after they take the recycle class again, and accept a $25 delivery fee. So it's just best to keep it simple. If you don't remember what goes in the blue bin, when in doubt, throw it out. It's something that we always mention to each other at our main office, at our administrative offices. We just remind each other, when in doubt, throw it out. Stay away from wish cycling. We do get customers who wish everything was recyclable. I know I am one of those, but stay away from that. We have to recycle according to what El Paso accepts. And who are the ones who put this on us is the material recovery facility. They tell us what they're accepting and what they're not. So again, space it out, extremely important, just like the video you saw at the beginning, 5 feet between any other object and 3 feet between each bin. Extremely important because then your bins will get skipped. And this one here is extremely important as well. Our collection drivers are facing a number of bins that are overflowing, extremely overflowing. If your bins look like these right here where there's too much trash, once they try to attempt to collect those bins, those bags are falling to the side. It's causing spillage, it's causing a mess on your curbside. Some of these bags are very thin, some of the trash is loose, the trash, not the recycle. But some of the trash is loose. Some of the bags include sharp material inside, so they're puncturing the bags once they're falling and they fall on the ground. So it's just causing a big mess. Like this one right here, the customer put it on top of the lid. Our collection driver attempted to collect, but it fell. If your bins are overflowing, they will skip your bins. So please be careful, make sure your lids are closed, do not overflow your bins. Do not place any bags on side of your gray bins. Collection drivers are not allowed to get off the trucks. So just remember, close your lids, do not overflow your bins. And how can you do more? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Inform everyone in your home about your plans to recycle. Create a recycling area in your home. Make sure recyclables are empty, dry, and loose in your blue bins. Never bag your recyclables. Check with your retailers and see what they recycle. Stay current with recycling practices by visiting our website. We do have a recycle wizard, and I'm going to show it to you right here. If you download our app, there's a Recycle Wizard, and all of this that you have access to. You can actually check your collection day. You can report a problem. If your bin is missed, you can report it through your phone. You can also report it through our website. You can view a work status order. You can check your CCS passes. This is the Recycle Wizard, and we have a sorting game for kids too. But this Recycle Wizard, if you enter a name of a material, for today we used glass. It'll show you a picture of the glass, tell you where to put it, and if it's accepted at our CCS locations. If it's accepted, you can click on the nearest one to you. After clicking it, it'll show you a map. It'll also give you hours of operation, phone number, website. If you still feel you need further information, you're not quite clear on something, you can click on Let's Chat. Fill out this information, and then once you submit it, you'll be connected to a chat representative, and you can ask them anything you like over the phone. So some recycling rules that we like to remind our customers: wait until your recycling is at least halfway full or completely full before setting it out. Do not bag recyclables. Make sure your blue and gray bins are separated at least 5 feet away from all objects, 3 feet away from each other. Remember, lids have to be closed. We have gotten some reports that there's been a news media man that has been advising our customers to tape their bins. Please do not put painter's tape on your bins. If our collection drivers notice that your bins have tape on them, they won't take your bins. They will take a picture, submit it, and they will move on to the next bin. So please don't turn your bins to the side on windy days. Don't tape your bins. Collection drivers won't collect. So pickup times are subject to change. Another extremely important fact that you remember, that our collection drivers are exposed to traffic, they're exposed to accidents. The trucks break down, especially during the heat in El Paso. Some of them have personal emergencies. Just have your bin out by 5 a.m. There is a city ordinance that requires you to have your bin out by 5 a.m. all the way through 6 p.m. Or until collected, before you give us a call to let us know that your collection driver passes by every week at 12 p.m. It's already 2, what's going on? So just give it time. Remember, 5 a.m. through 6 p.m., those are the route hours. The opening of the lid does have to be facing the street. Avoid placing your blue bins when the wind gusts are over 40 miles per hour. We offer all these options right here for our customers. You can ask the Recycle Wizard. You can visit our website. You can download the ESD Works for You app. You can call our office, speak to our customer care team, and you can chat with us as well. And before ending our presentation, we do like to end it with this Native American proverb: we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. So extremely important that we do our part, and if we all do our small part, it will eventually be a big, huge change for our El Paso community. And that's all from me. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer them for you.
I have a couple of comments.
Sure, Ms. Williams, go ahead.
Well, first, thank you so much. I wish hundreds of people were listening to this, because I hear things like a whole family's using water bottles. I'm like, oh, that breaks my heart. And then just one thing I wanted to share is the shredded paper. I take my shredded paper and I either put it in my compost bin in my backyard. I have a compost bin. Or if you just take the shredded paper and put it in your garden, it stops weeds and bugs, and it's a beautiful mulch. And if you just wet it, it'll stay kind of packed. It'll get like paper mache, because if you just set it there, it'll blow away, but if you wet it, it'll make a good mulch. So I usually kind of divide it up and throw it in those different places.
Wow.
And then the other thing is, I hear people talk about, oh, El Paso should have a a green bin. And I'm just thinking, no, if people are already putting diapers in the blue bin, what are they going to do to the green bin? Like so what else could the schools, how can we legislatively say, you have to, be educated about this before you even get it. I know when you're dealing with the public, it's so hard, but what are ways that we can make sure people, get educated? And like Eileen and I, we're educators, and Candace is an educator. It's like, how do we understand the value of education, but how do we make people understand the value of educating yourselves about these things?
That's extreme. That is, Ms. Williams, something that we do struggle with. We want to be everywhere. We want to get big crowds. We want to attract big crowds to be able to inform everyone that we're not recycling correctly for El Paso, because we found out that every city is different. We get a lot of military families coming to El Paso, and since they're requesting new service and they want a blue bin, they don't want to take the class because they say, I know how to recycle. I was recycling in California. California recycles bigger than El Paso. So then we tell them that's exactly why you need to take the class, because El Paso's different from California. If we don't recycle correctly, our contamination rate just keeps increasing. And Mrs. Mize had no other choice but to make it mandatory. If you want a blue bin, you have to take the class, because baby diapers don't belong in blue bins.
Right. I was a school librarian, and I would do literacy nights. And so I don't know how you can get into schools, but that's one of the ways, if you can find where people are doing, just a night, and even if it's like focusing on Earth Week, try to get in there during the Earth Week and just do a 10 or 15 minute presentation, just some way to, just look for any nook and cranny to educate people. We reach out. Sometimes we don't get a response back. Teachers are extremely busy, especially right now doing the online learning. But we do reach out. We try to be as many places as we can that we are invited to or that we request to be at. Our outreach team is a team of 3. So our efforts are growing, and that's what we want, for our efforts to grow and to be everywhere we can, so that we want to partner. We want to partner with as much partnerships that we can, so that we can relay this information, because like you say, how can they ask for a green bin when we haven't gotten it right with our blue? No, I agree. Well, and it was really informative, because I still look at a plastic and I go, okay, it's 5. Do they take a 5 now? That was good to know. It's still just 1 and 2. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, and we are regulated. It's not the city of El Paso, but it's actually the facility who tells us, you know what, we're only working with 1s and 2s, because that's what we work with, 1s and 2s. So then we have to tell our community it's just 1s and 2s. You know what? The accepting of plastic bags and blue bins, China doesn't want them anymore. So we discontinued the recycling of plastic bags and blue bins. The glass. So this facility does not have machines to process glass. So we can't recycle glass. Why? Because we're regulated by these companies.
But we do have glass recycling. Oh, we take it. You don't pick it up. We take it.
No, we don't pick it up because the facility who processes our material does not have a machine.
So what happens to the glass that we take down to whatever, Pendale or whatever? What happens to that glass?
They crush it. And then they send it over. I know a gentleman picks it up. I know he does. We don't know what he does with it, but he gets it off our hands, out of our landfill.
Okay. There's a lot of people, like I know in Las Cruces, they have the glass the same way. And a lot of people use it for building materials. And just as Cindy was saying, she uses her shredded paper for her garden. A lot of people use it, just like a rock in their garden.
Yeah, it's a mulch. It's a real pretty mulch.
Yeah. Yes. I've seen gardens with crushed glass. It looks beautiful.
Uh-huh.
I do have a question or two. I love the word wish cycling. I think that's a great campaign because most people buy something and then they go, oh, I could just recycle this. And it's, they buy something in the plastic or the styrofoam. So yeah, the education is a big deal. It's really hard. Have you ever thought of open houses or field trips? I know field trips with students, that's kind of difficult. I used to do the field trips with my students when I lived in New Orleans. I'm not from here, but the field trips and, I think recycling has gotten away from the Mobius strip thing. I loved your graphic that showed where it goes, but the Mobius strip means if you're recycling it, that means you're buying it again, you're reusing it.
Yes.
And I think that's something really missing from our program. I wanted to ask you, or from lots of programs, but the public just, they can't remember what to recycle and stuff. We used to have recycling bins up here at Dripping Springs. I was a volunteer coordinator, and the volunteers would clean out the bins, just like you guys are cleaning out the bins. It's like it's got all this food in it. We'll just throw the whole bag away, kind of thing. So yeah, I can see where it's an uphill battle. It seems like it. But the contaminate rate, you said there's a contaminate rate, 32% for El Paso. Have you noticed it changing since you started? And when did you start this class?
So these classes began last year. It hasn't even been a year. It's been maybe 7 or 8 months that it's gone mandatory. So our next grading we get graded every 3 months. And I believe that we are up for a grading from the facility. Yeah. So hopefully our efforts have gone big and some of that contamination rate has decreased. That's our goal. And Las Cruces has 7. It's just amazing to know that Las Cruces has 7% contamination rate.
And I don't know. I'm just wondering why, but I think our plastics go to El Paso, or probably to the same companies that control what you can.
It's probably that same facility. It's called Friedman. So Friedman is the one that takes our material.
Right.
And Friedman is way out there in the Northeast.
Okay. So this is only a 7-month-old program. I really think it's great. Oh, I can see where people don't want to take a class, but
they don't want to. We get a lot of comments when I call them and tell them, because they call customer service, they'll give customer service a hard time, so then they forward the call to me. And then I call them and I tell them, you have to take the class, it's mandatory. Why? I know how to recycle. Recycling is so easy, my baby can do it. And I tell them, recycling is easy throughout every city. It's different in every single city. Our military families are constantly traveling. And we've had a comment from one of them, I never thought that it's this different. I need to check recycling regulations in every city I go to. And she's told me, you just sparked something in my mind that I had never thought of.
Right. And again, it's that Mobius strip. People don't realize it has to continually go through your system, like the natural world. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. I'm wondering, have you ever done like an op-ed in the newspaper or anything?
We do. We do news releases. We go on the newspaper, but recycling is not something that a lot of us have an interest for. So they just they view it. They forget about it.
It's a luxury to be able to throw your stuff away. I mean, you can't. That's why that wish cycling. I love that idea. That is so neat. I like that. Don't wish cycle. Just don't buy it. Yeah.
And in Europe, it's even more strict regulations. And in Germany, and they have to sort everything themselves. And so it is a privilege. I think it's incredible that you guys are still going, and we appreciate what you do. But I do think that the education component, gosh, if we can help, we definitely will, because I think it's just a matter of education, right?
Yes.
And so maybe we can partner with you guys more in the future. I know we did briefly, Lily, we were talking about precious plastic. So oh, my dog's so excited about recycling. And so precious plastic, Green Hope Project got a grant through NSHSS to build these machines that will shred plastic, grind it into little pellets, and then we can heat it up and mold inject it into molds and make new items. So talk about really recycling, right? So this will never touch a landfill. And so these items come directly to us. They have to have the right plastic number, and then we just choose the pretty colors, right? So think of your detergent bottles, the blues, the reds, and then we shred them. And we can turn them into phone cases, bricks, jewelry, bowls, chairs. And so I'll just share real quick my screen, because I just want to show you guys what is in the works right now with Green Hope Project. And so this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. So these are the machines, 1, 2, 3, 4, some shred it, some mold inject it, some are extruders. And so we are in the works with this right now. And the goal is to have these items immediately be turned into something that's useful, and then have a shop where people can purchase them, and the funds will go back into the program, or we can even donate stuff. I mean, look, this plastic became bricks, it became building material. And so this is what it looks like when you shred it. I mean, beautiful tables that look like they would be like, very modern, and that could eliminate the stuff that's ending up in the landfills. So moving forward, we would love if anybody's listening, and the ESD especially, if they would like to partner with us on this. Playgrounds, these are grips for when they do the climbing. And you can even make again, building materials. And so bowls and chairs. And so that could be potentially something in the works that we could partner with the recycling. And, I think there's hope.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's a foundation that I followed for a long time. And I put their web address in the chat.
Nice.
The Algalita Marine Foundation, and they work with plastics pollution and the plastic gyra. And they work with doing they even go so far as lobbying for manufacturers of these products to pay for it, to slow it down, so that because plastics just degrade in the sun, and
right.
So, but they have some really cool movies and stuff like that too. So if you're interested.
Well, anybody who's tuning in and you're not, you're tuning in to the recording after the fact. So the spelling of that is ALGALITA.org. So check that out.
It's out of Los Angeles, I believe. So it's a California program.
Oh, thank you, Eileen. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And Lily, thank you so much. That was a great visual. I'm a very visual person. I'm an artist, and so I need to see pictures, and that helps. So that's great information. We will have this posted publicly so people can rewatch this over again. So unless we have any other questions for Lily, I just want to thank you for coming on a Saturday. We really appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Lily. Our pleasure. And please keep in touch with us. Anything you need, you want to invite us somewhere, we will be there any day. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.